Hey, magandang buhay! So, in this video, I'm going to discuss evaluating limits the simpler way, the easier way, to the point na madali siyang intindihin, yung hindi komplikado. Okay? So, ready ka na malaman kung paano mag-evaluate ng limits? Okay, that is great. So, alam natin na kapag nag-evaluate tayo ng limits, yung ginagawa lang natin is para lang tayo nag-evaluate ng function. So as you can see on our screen, the limit of f of x as x approaches to c, ang ginagawa lang natin dito is yung function, yung mga values ng x, papalitan lang natin siya ng c. Let us have the first example. So we have here the limit of x squared minus 9 all over x minus 3 as x approaches to 3. So, anong gagawin niyan natin dito? Ang gagawin lang natin is we're going to substitute yung x by 3. So, it will be 3 squared minus 9 all over 3 minus 3. Yun nga lang, tama ka. Sir Ben, magiging 0 over 0 siya. That is indeterminate. Ibig sabihin, na-achieve natin yung indeterminate form. Ang ibig sabihin nito, ang gagawin lang natin dito is kailangan natin mag-factoring. Okay? Kasi hindi pwede na ganyan yung magiging sagot natin. So, ang kailangan natin gawin dito, factoring. How? Yung x squared minus 9 magiging x plus 3 times x minus 3. In this case, pwede na nating ma-cancel yung x minus 3 sa numerator and sa denominator. So, matitira na lang dito is yung tama, x plus 3. So, dito niyan, ang gagawin na niyan natin dito is, pwede na tayo mag-evaluate. So, yung x plus 3, it will become 3 plus 3, which will lead us to 6. So, in that case, yung limit ng x squared minus 9 as all over x minus 3 as x approaches to 3 is equivalent to 6. Sabi ko sa inyo, napakadali at napakasimple lang ng pag-evaluate ng limits. Sunod tayo dito. So, the limit of x cubed plus 1 all over x plus 1 as x approaches to negative 1. So, again, tignan muna natin kung magiging indeterminate siya. Okay? So, kung titignan natin sa numerator, that is negative 1 cubed plus 1. Obviously, that would be 0. And yung denominator natin, negative 1 plus 1, that is 0. So, 0 over 0. So, naka-indeterminate form siya. So, ang gagawin natin dito is magpa-factoring muna tayo. Yung numerator natin, yan yung factorable. And obviously, yan ay isang example ng sum of 2 cubes. So, how do we factor the sum of 2 cubes? So, in that case, yung x cubed plus 1 magiging the quantity of x plus 1 times the quantity of x squared minus x plus 1 over x plus 1. So, nakikita nyo naman sa screen natin na pwede nang i-cancel yung x plus 1. Ang matitira na lang dyan is yung x squared minus x plus 1. Dito, pwede na tayo mag-evaluate. So, yung value ng x is negative 1. Substitute tayo. So, we will have the quantity of negative 1 squared minus the quantity of negative 1 plus 1. So, pag isolve natin yan, ang makukuha natin dyan ay 3. So, therefore, the limit of x cubed plus 1 all over x plus 1 as x approaches to negative 1 is 3. Third example tayo. So, we have the limit of x minus 4 all over x squared minus 7x plus 12 as x approaches to 4. So, identify natin anong limit ng x minus 4 all over x squared minus 7x plus 12 as x approaches to 4. So, kagaya ng ginawa natin kanina, solve muna natin. Baka mamaya kasi hindi naman naging 0 over 0 yung mismong function natin. Yung numerator natin, obvious naman na magiging 0 yan. Kasi 4 minus 4, that is 0. Yung denominator, i-check natin. 4 squared, okay? So, 4 squared, that is 16 minus, tama, 28 plus 12. So, 16 minus 28, that is equal to negative 12. Negative 12 plus 12, that is 0. So, again, Na-achieve na naman natin yung 0 over 0. So, ang gagawin natin dito, tama ka, factoring. Yung denominator natin, ano yan, tawag dito? Factoring general trinomials. So, paano natin gagawin yan? So, that would be, yung numerator, same pa rin, x minus 4. Yung denominator, that would be equivalent to the quantity of x minus 3 times the quantity of x minus 4. Okay, tama ka. Maka-cancel na yung x minus 4. So, ang matitira dito is 1 over x minus 3. So, in this case, na nakikita nyo sa screen natin, pwede na nating i-substitute yung x by 4. So, makukuha natin dyan ay 1 over 4 minus 3, which will be equivalent to, tama ka, 1. Therefore, yung limit ng x minus 4 all over x squared minus 7x plus 12 as x approaches to 4 is equivalent to 1. Diba? Madali lang. It is very important that na master mo yung factoring. No? Next example tayo. Ayan. So, the limit of 2 minus the square root of 4 minus x all over x as x approaches to 0. Same thing lang naman yung gagawin natin dito. I-check muna natin kung magiging 0 over 0 to after evaluating that function wherein x is equivalent to 0. So, yung denominator natin, obvious na 0 na yan. How about yung sa taas? 2 minus, so, syempre ito 0 na yan. 2 minus the square root of 4, di ba yung square root ng 4 ay 2 rin? So, 2 minus 2, that would be 0. So, ibig sabihin, 0 over 0 din ito. So, ano yung gagawin natin dito? Kapag meron tayong square root na expression sa ating function, ang gagawin natin dyan is magra-rationalize tayo. So, how do we rationalize an expression? So, ganito yan. So, yung function natin na 2 minus the square root of 4 minus x all over x, imumultiply natin yan sa conjugate, syempre, ng ating numerator. So, kapag sinabi natin conjugate, same terms, ang pinagkaiba lang is yung sign nila sa gitna. So, since negative yung dito, ang gagawin natin is positive. Ayan siya. Okay? So, comparing these two, parehong-pareho, 2 and 2. The square root of 4 minus x, the square root of 4 minus x. Ang pinagkaiba lang is negative dito at saka positive dito. Sir Ben, bakit? Ito yung multiplying or the product of the sum and difference of two terms. Grade 7 topic ito. Okay, ito yung the quantity of x plus y times the quantity of x minus y, which is equivalent to x squared minus y squared. Okay? So, kapag minultiply natin ito yung makukuha natin. Ayan. 4 minus the quantity of 4 minus x all over x times the quantity of 2 plus the square root of 4 minus x. Ngayon, yung numerator natin, ang matitira na lang dyan ay x. Sir Ben, bakit? 4 minus 4 plus x. So, 4 minus 4, that will be 0. In this case, dito, makakancel na dito yung tama. Makakancel na yung x. So, matitira na lang dyan is 1 over 2 plus the square root of 4 minus x. In this case, pwede na tayo mag-substitute ng x. So, yung x, gagawin na nating 0. So, in that case, we will have 1 over 2 plus 2. Sir Ben, bakit 2 plus 2? Again, 0 ito. So, the square root of 4 is 2. So, 1 over 2 plus 2. So, that would be 1/4. So, therefore, the limit of 2 minus the square root of 4 minus x all over x as x approaches to 0 is equivalent to 1/4. Madali lang, okay? Sabi ko sa inyo, napakadali, napakasimple ng ating topic. Down to our last example, we have the limit of the square root of x plus 2 minus the square root of 2 all over x as x approaches to 0. Again, kapag i-evaluate natin to as x is equal to 0, yung denominator natin, automatic 0 na yan. Eto, this will be square root of 2 kasi 0 na to. So, square root of 2 minus square root of 2, that is 0. So, again, naka-indeterminate form siya. So, ang gagawin natin dito is i-rationalize natin yung mismong expression natin. So, same thing dun sa ginawa ko kanina. Ayan siya. So, kung makikita nyo dito, x plus 2 or the square root of x plus 2 minus square root of 2, parehong-pareho, ang pinagkaiba lang is yung sign nila. Negative yung dito, positive yung dito. Okay? Take note na yung value nito is 1. Sir Ben, bakit? Parehong-pareho eh. Okay, di ba nga, n over n is equivalent to 1. So, ibig sabihin, same pa rin yung value natin. Okay? So, no worries tayo dyan. Again, same pa rin yung value. Kasi, di ba, any number multiplied to 1 is the same number. So, again, same value pa rin tayo. Proceed tayo dito. So, when we multiply those two expressions, we will have x plus 2 minus 2 all over x times the quantity of the square root of x plus 2 plus the square root of 2. In this case, 2 minus 2 is 0. So, we will have, ayan, x over x times the quantity of the square root of x plus 2 plus the square root of 2. Tama ka? Cancel yung x. So, we will have 1 over the square root of x plus 2 plus the square root of 2. In this case, pwede na nating palitan yung value ng x by 0. So, in this case, this will be square root of 2 na lang. Bakit? Kasi this is 0. So, square root of 2 plus the square root of 2, that would be 2 square root of 2. So, yung numerator, same pa din siya. Rationalizing this one, so ang gagawin ko niyan dito is, i-multiply ko ito by square root of 2. I'm going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by square root of 2. And we will get square root of 2 over 4. So in that case, the limit of the square root of x plus 2 minus the square root of 2 all over x as x approaches to 0 is equal to the square root of 2 plus 4. So, I hope that you learned something about this video about evaluating limits. So, kagaya na sinabi ko kanina, napakadali ng ating topic. So, with that, maraming salamat sa pagkikinig and yes, magandang buhay.